How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to go over the three trades I took on MNQ. Started off the day with two trades that were losses, kind of got faked out on those. Came back with one trade that ended up bringing me positive to the day overall. I say positive. I am trading on a demo account. Pretty much just looking to build confidence and build strategy before using real money or trying to pass a prop account. So we're on the demo. We're going to just continue to trade, try things, build confidence in our systems, and then move on from there. But let's get into it. Let's talk about what I was watching. So we're taking a look at the hourly chart here. We had a pre-market high up here. We had a big run up from yesterday. In the pre-market though, however, we sold off quite a bit, had a pullback, and then we were kind of approaching this 19,500 level. This is a big level that I like. I'll zoom out and explain why. But basically coming into the day, I wanted to see either like the rejection off this level or the break and hold and continuation to the upside. So my first trade was a short position that was a loss. My second trade was a long position. Once we broke and held this, that was a loss. And then my first was a short, second was a long, third was a long as well that worked out. And we had a pretty big move to the upside here. So let's take a look at that level and why I like that. So it was this area right here that we had from about 2 weeks ago or so. We had resistance, broke, retest, and held for support, and then came down and bounced a few times off this level afterwards before having this massive sell-off. And it was pretty much the area of a complete fill of this fair value gap that we had before this big sell-off. And we've kind of just been grinding our way back up. We filled it in yesterday's session, but nonetheless, it's still a pretty big level. So a recent level as well. So that's why I was looking at that, and that was kind of my plan. Also, we had yesterday's high, which could have been a target for longs to the upside if we got continuation. We had pre-market low, which didn't come into play, but could have been a target for shorts to the downside had we broken down. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the trades I took, and we'll be looking at the 5,000 tick chart, similar to like a 5-minute time frame, but a little different. All right, so let's take a peek. We had the market open right up in here. Basically in the pre-market, we had some rejections off of this 19,500-ish area, as well as the 20 EMA was there. You see that when the market opens, we're kind of getting this rejection off of that area. Came up, failed to break higher here, even though we get a pretty bullish candle, right? It moves like 40 points to the upside. We then consequently get a red candle, has a little bit of a bottom wick, like sellers were trying to push that down, but it does close back below this level and back below the EMA. The following candle was what made me enter my first trade, and you see that we tried to push up about like 20 points. That wick got pushed all the way back down and closed pretty almost nearly where it opened, showing that we are still rejecting off that EMA and that level. And at this point I entered on the following candle. So when we pushed up again and was retesting this area, I entered short 5 contracts. My stop loss was just a few points above these wicks. It was a 15-point stop loss. I think it was at 518. I think it was right here. And my entry was 503. So entry was right in here, 503, stop loss 518, 15 points above and above these wicks. That would allow some, some play, some wiggle room. I was also basing it off of, some of the volatility that we were getting with some of these bigger candles. And my take profit was right here at, or I guess up a little bit at 473. That would have been a 30-point take profit. So 15-point stop, 30-point take profit. That was a 2-to-1 trade there. I liked what we were looking at, especially when I was looking here and saw that we got these big reactionary moves out of this area when we had this weak candle here. I entered short, and then we had this candle close really weak, which made me feel good as well that we were going to get that flush down. And we didn't. We kind of popped around a bit. We never hit my take profit. We kind of chopped in here. And then this move up right here stopped me out. So this candle stopped me out. That was my first trade. Not mad at that. That's actually pretty much according to my plan, right? We're selling off. We're in a bit of a pullback. We try to push our way up like 5 times, each time failing. We get a really weak price action print. We enter, we have appropriate stop, right? We have appropriate risk. We have a well-defined target that's based off this consolidation in here, this price action that would be a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So everything about this is fine to me. I'm not mad about that at all. That's just the name of the game. Sometimes they get psyched out like that. So yeah, at this point though, we had broken and retested and moved up, and this was looking pretty bullish. So I entered long on this candle. Pretty much as soon as I closed my short, I entered long because I like this long setup. If we could break over the EMA, break over this level, hold it, look bullish, I thought that, you know, overall we've been in an uptrend the past, you know, however many days. We've been making higher highs, higher lows after this big sell-off that we had. And this was a nice pullback, like it was a needed pullback. If we showed some strength, that I would assume that we were getting continuation to the upside. So I entered long here. Let's zoom in again. Entered long here, and then I entered another. I bought 5 contracts, and then I bought another 5 when we came down and tested this level. And I did that because I was fairly confident. I liked that we were holding that EMA. I liked also that this area that we had all this liquidity previously in the morning got retested, and then we closed really strong too. So everything up to this point was feeling pretty good. I had a large stop loss on this though, and this is where well, I guess it's a combination of 2 things, right? It's a combination that I doubled down on my position, and then a combination of having a little bit wider stop loss. So I put my stop about right here at 485 at the bottom of this like swing low, knowing that you know, we were making kind of, here's a high, here's a low, kind of making a higher low, higher high, that if we broke down, then that would be invalidated. Although we broke down and then just continued to move back up. But nonetheless, I got stopped out by this move down. And my stop loss was, my average price was somewhere in here. So 11 to, it's like a 30-point stop. So that's way too wide for that size. If I want to have that wide of an entry or a wide of a stop, that much risk, I should size down, and then ultimately I'd be targeting like a much bigger move towards yesterday's high. That was more of an emotional trade. I felt good about it because I like the setup, but where the emotion came into play was just the sizing, and the first entry was bad. Had I waited for this to pull down and just entered full size here and then had stop, you know, a little bit lower, so be it. But yeah, the wide stop with that much size really put me down on the day. My third and final trade was, we kind of shopped around for a bit. We had news at 8. So when this news came out, I was kind of just sitting on my hands waiting to see what the market's reaction would be. We were bullish off that. We moved higher. We broke above the high of day and kind of broke out of this range that we were in. When we came back and pulled back into this range, I entered a lot of contracts. I was entering 5 at a time, and I had 4 entries. So I got all the way up to 20 contracts, but I added as we started moving up. Initially I added 10, I think, and then as we started moving up, I added another 10, because, you know, I was just trying to ride that momentum. This was the initial idea, right? If we could break and hold above that we're going to get that return to that bullish trend. So risking a bit here, and I don't advise this either. You know, I really sized up here. It happened to work in my favor though. As my first profit target, I looked back to most recent price action and the pre-market to see where we had some consolidation or some like liquidity, and I found this area in here. So my first take profit was right around this level, right around like 570 from my entry in here. That's a pretty nice move. It's about, you know, 30-point move. So first trim was there, took off the majority. I took off 3/4 of my contracts right there. And then I put my remaining contracts kind of at the top of this liquidity, right? We have like this little consolidation. So my next take profit was right in here at 588 or so, and just kind of barely hit that take profit with this candle. That stopped out, or that closed out the remaining 5 contracts I had. I took 15 off, then I took 5 off up here, and that's how we're up today. We're up about $402. Like I said, sized up more than I should, but this is not a. Yeah, I think my problem today was the sizing. I think I went too heavy here, and then I definitely sized up. It happened to work out, but if I was trading a real account, that's not going to fly. So I think the biggest things for me are just building the confidence and taking these trades. You know, I think it's nice to be on a demo and not have it be a evaluation account or anything. Like, this doesn't matter what this balance is. It's all play money. So I think the concern over entering a trade in terms of like being worried about losing isn't there, which is allowing me to enter some trades without fear, I guess. And that's good and bad, but that is something that once I establish a winning trading kind of practice, that I need to have that lack of hesitation to enter good setups when I see them. So it's kind of what we're trying to get out of it. Really, it's going to be paper trading, and it's going to be just for the overall development of getting in the trades when I see them. But that's all I got for you. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week. Enjoy your weekend. Hope you have a good one. Peace.